Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. Today is Thursday, January 24th, 2013. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Chip Ramsey with the Saturday Independent newspaper. In tonight's news, a Tullahoma man is sentenced to 51 years in jail after pleading guilty to the murder of a Tullahoma woman. Outgoing Manchester City Schools director says 2 of the city schools need some $4 million in improvements, and the Tullahoma Wildcats get a big win over Lawrence County. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
Tullahoma Drug has a gift for keeping well. You know about prescriptions, but there's so much more to tell. There's a gift for all occasions, for body, soul, and mind. Cards to show you care, gifts to show your kind. There are remedies and recipes and treats, you'll want to eat them. Stacks of books from famous cooks and spectacles to read them. Shades and frames, puzzles, games, dishes, plates, and mugs. We're a Tullahoma treasure. We are Tullahoma Drug.
Hello, this is J.D. Oliver from the Smokehouse on Mount Eagle Mountain. Me and my sisters Nancy and Betsy would like to thank you all for your continued support. This year we're celebrating our 50-year anniversary at the Smokehouse. In conjunction with our 50-year celebration, we are bringing Music on the Mountain every Saturday night at 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. featuring the best of Nashville. We have had some wonderful singers, hit songwriters, and Nashville's rising stars have taken the stage. Come out this Saturday night and every Saturday night through the end of the year. Make it a date night or bring the whole family. Help us celebrate 50 years in the community. Music on the Mountain is free every Saturday night at Jim Oliver's Smokehouse.
Hey, this is Sean Mayer. I'd like to invite everybody out to the Smokehouse every Saturday night for great music and awesome food.
Thank you very much, y'all.
This facility was built literally on the international date line to bring Charter customers tomorrow's technology first. Like Charter Internet, which was just made faster again. With speeds up to 100 megs, you can download a movie in 2 minutes. The #1 internet service provider in the nation. Click.
Fogelman, good luck with the presentation tomorrow.
Already nailed it.
Get Charter Internet Express for only $19.99 a month.
Welcome back. A Tullahoma man will spend at least 51 years behind bars after pleading guilty to the March 2012 stabbing death of 19-year-old Megan McGuinn. Thomas Allen, age 21, pleaded guilty to first-degree premeditated murder in a Manchester courtroom on Tuesday. Investigators say Allen entered the victim's Harton Boulevard home in Tullahoma and stabbed her 25 times. He took money and other property from the victim. Allen was held by Winchester police after he showed up bloody and confused at Southern Middle Tennessee Medical Center. The Tullahoma News reports the victim's mother says the family remains, quote, bewildered over the death of the Tullahoma High School graduate. Allen will serve 51 years before parole can be considered. He is being held in the state corrections system.
Outgoing Manchester City Schools director Dr. Prater Powell says that the $4 million needed for renovations at 2 schools represents the bare minimum to keep up with a growing student population. Westwood and Middle School and College Street Elementary School have been targeted for upgrades to kitchen and dining hall facilities as well as additional classroom space for arts and sciences. Dr. Powell told the Saturday Independent that there are 4 areas that have been looked at the middle school, but at the College Street site, they are looking at only renovations in additions to the food services area. Westwood Middle School has 4 areas that will be expanded, including an addition to its tiny cafeteria and outdated food prep area. At least 6 new classrooms will be added, including 1 that will house a science laboratory and 1 that will offer students an art studio. Restrooms and guidance offices will receive upgrades along with a locker room area that will be added to include dressing rooms and a weight room and office space. At least 2 Manchester aldermen, Ryan French and Cheryl Swan, have expressed hope that the city will not need to issue a bond for the expansion and upgrades. The school system has some $3 million in reserves on hand. The funding request is expected to be brought up at the next City Budget and Finance Committee meeting.
Tennessee Senator Bob Corker says he will call for a comprehensive review of how the State Department functions. The Chattanooga Republican has been named the minority ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Many, including Corker, have been critical of lax security conditions at a Libyan diplomatic outpost that led to the death of Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 others in September of last year. Corker says he wants to improve security for U.S. diplomatic employees worldwide. Corker, who was reelected to a second 6-year term in November, has served on the Senate panel since 2007.
Tennessee Department of Transportation, or TDOT, has announced earlier this week that the state aeronautics grants totaling $446,436 have been approved for 8 Tennessee airports. The Tullahoma Airport received $14,250 of that total for a study to determine the feasibility of expanding one of its runways. The grants are made available through the Tennessee Department of Transportation's Aeronautics Division. The division administers federal and state funding to assist in the location, design, and construction and maintenance of Tennessee's diverse public aviation system. Except for routine expenditures, grant applications are reviewed by the Tennessee Aeronautics Commission, which is a 5-member board charged with policy, planning, and regulating changes in the state airport system plan. The board carefully reviews all applications for grants to ensure that the proper state and local matching funds are in place and that the grants will be used for needed improvements. The TDOT Aeronautics Division has the responsibility of inspecting and licensing the state's 126 heliports and 75 public general aviation airports. The division also provides aircraft and related services for state government and staffing for the Tennessee Aeronautics Commission.
A Coffee County woman has been charged with TennCare fraud. We'll have that story when we come back with more Newsleader on 6.
It's nice to see familiar faces while enjoying great Sears low prices at your locally owned and operated Sears hometown store in Tullahoma and Shelbyville. Mike and his crew are a premier dealer where you'll find great Sears quality and availability at the lowest prices guaranteed. Featuring Craftsman tools with Sears' famous lifetime warranty, Craftsman lawn and garden equipment, 10 major appliance brands featuring Kenmore, Electrolux and Whirlpool, Sealy bedding, Kenmore and Dyson vacuums, Nordic Track and Soul Fitness equipment. And if it's not on our shelves, it's available online at Sears.com with free shipping to either location. Sears Hometown Store in Tullahoma and Shelbyville. We're right in your neighborhood.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
Mark, you've won just about everything there is to win in racing. What's next?
I'd like more people to know about ER Extra.
The emergency room at Harton Regional Medical Center?
I just want them to get the best care they can get.
That just gets me right here, Mark.
Maybe you'd like to pay them a visit.
ER Extra at Harton Regional Medical Center.
ER Extra. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
Trust, honesty, integrity. These qualities make Woodard's Diamond Showroom your premier shopping destination for fine jewelry. Whether you indulge yourself with our exclusive jewelry designs or are looking to give diamonds or gold jewelry as a gift, you will feel confident knowing you have made the right choice. For brilliance you deserve, visit Woodard's inside Northgate Mall of Tullahoma, your exclusive master IJO jeweler.
You can see it in his swagger. You can see it in his swagger. He a boss, you can see it in his swag. How we walk, how we talk.
A lot can change in 2 years, but not everything has to. With the Charter Price Guarantee, lock in low rates for 2 years, because sometimes it's nice to know what's on the road ahead.
Welcome back. A Coffee County woman is charged with TennCare fraud in connection with using the program to obtain prescription drugs, which she apparently later sold. The Office of Inspector General, with the assistance of the Coffee County Sheriff's Office and the Manchester Police Department, announced the arrest of Lisa Diane Crouch, 42, of Manchester. Crouch is charged in an indictment with presenting a pharmacy with a prescription for the painkiller hydrocone, using TennCare to pay for the prescription with the intentions of selling a portion of the drugs. The TennCare fraud charges against Couch could result in a 2-year sentence if convicted. District Attorney General Mickey Lane is prosecuting. The OIG, which is separate from TennCare, began full operation in February of 2005 and has investigated cases leading to over $3.5 million paid in restitution and recoupment to TennCare, with a total estimated cost avoidance of over $173 million for the TennCare program. That's according to latest figures. To date, over 1,700 people have been charged with TennCare fraud through the OIG Cash for Tips program established by the legislature. Tennesseans can get cash rewards for TennCare fraud tips that lead to convictions. Anyone can report suspected TennCare fraud by calling 1-800-433-3982, toll free from anywhere in Tennessee.
Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation's Division of Natural Areas will host a guided hike at Short Springs this Saturday. Tennessee State Parks Area Manager Robin Wooten will take hikers on a 3-mile hike via Busby Falls, Adams Falls, and Machine Falls Loop trails. The trails have many ups and downs, creek crossings, and beautiful waterfalls, so hikers should be prepared for a slower-paced hike with gorgeous scenery. Following the main excursion, there will be an optional 1.5-mile Laurel Bluff loop trail hike. Participants should meet at 10 a.m. at the Short Springs State Natural Area Trailhead, the parking lot there, located just outside of Tullahoma. Hikers should arrive dressed for the weather. In addition to wearing layers of clothing and sturdy boots, participants should also bring lunch and plenty of water. Short Springs is a 420-acre natural area located here in Coffee County. This natural area provides an excellent contrast between highland rim and central basin geology and vegetation. Thickets of mountain laurel grow up on the upper slopes under a dry oak hickory forest canopy that is characteristic of highland rim vegetation. The lower slopes and riparian areas along Bobo Creek support a towering sycamore, buckeye, magnolia, beech, and tulip poplar trees with a rich shrub layer and a herbaceous cover. More information about Short Springs is available at the Tennessee Department of Conservation's website.
Stay with us. We'll be right back in a moment with more Newsleader on 6.
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
This is for my daddy and the troops. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
At Charter, we're connecting military families with free webcams and the fastest, most reliable internet speeds. Get your webcam at charter.com/canyousee.
I miss you, Daddy.
Welcome back. In this upcoming video, the Center for Disease Control Director, Dr. Tom Frieden, talks about the latest data on flu as well as answers some basic questions, including how effective the flu vaccine is and who should and shouldn't get it. Let's watch.
This year, flu has hit early and it has hit hard, and it's likely to continue for about another month or so before it really tapers off. The best way to protect yourself against the flu is with a flu shot. In fact, even though the flu shot is far from perfect, the effectiveness this year is about 60%. But that means you're 60% less likely to get really sick from the flu and to spread it to your family and others. It's by far the best tool we have to protect against the flu. Virtually everyone should get a flu shot every year. The only exceptions are infants younger than 6 months of age, and if you've had a severe reaction to eggs or to a prior flu shot, check with your doctor. While there is still flu vaccine out there, you may have to call around to your provider or pharmacy to make sure that they have it before you get a vaccination. If you have symptoms of flu, fever, chills, cough, even if you've had a flu shot, it's important to get checked out in two situations. First, if you're severely ill and having trouble breathing, and second, if you have an underlying health problem such as diabetes. People with those conditions should see a doctor promptly because treatment in the first 48 hours can greatly reduce your chances of becoming severely ill.
Only a 10% chance of showers today, but a 70% chance of flu next month. That's the kind of forecasting health scientists are trying to move toward.
So we're going for something where we could say there's a 50% chance that in 5 weeks we're going to be at the peak of the flu outbreak in New York City, let's say.
Such disease modeling got some attention recently when Jeffrey Shaman, a researcher at Columbia University, and another scientist said they could predict when flu season was going to peak in New York more than 7 weeks in advance. Theirs is just the latest in a growing wave of disease models that factor in rainfall, temperature, or other weather conditions.
The idea really is we're not using a weather model, we're using the techniques that they use in weather prediction.
Diseases can be forecast by using statistical and mathematical models which simulate disease transmission in the population.
That also involves observing searches for information on various diseases.
They can actually do a very localized Google-based tool where they take information from a community and predict how much influenza is spread in that community.
Some diseases like the flu are more predictable than others.
Diseases for which we know the mode of transmission or for how many days the duration of illness are easier to forecast and easier to model.
Recently, health officials advised that flu season is off to its earliest start in 10 years, with the highest activity in 5 southern states. But experts note disease outbreaks are influenced as much by human behavior and other factors as by the weather, and that weather-based outbreak prediction still has a long way to go.
State Senator Frank Nicely, who last year jumped from the Tennessee House to the Senate, wants to mandate that all local schools provide some kind of armed security to protect students and staff. Senator Nicely spoke with TNReports.com about his plan.
Our bill basically does two things. It requires all the schools to have security. Half the schools have security now in Tennessee, and it's time to go ahead and put security in all the schools. So it requires the other schools to have security. The other thing that it does, it sets the level of training for those security officers. Now, you can have a security officer like the rest of the school, what they call a SRO, a school resource officer, or you could have a trained staff. You could have a staff member, or you could contract with a retired military, retired highway patrol. You know, our highway patrolmen retire at 60. They're required to retire at 60. You could deal with them. It gives the locals options to try to save some money and still have security. But we set the level of training, which is higher than just a carry permit. Some of the bills down here won't allow anyone with a carry permit, but we want a little more than that.
Is that something that you have talked about with other senators, that you kind of get a sense of who's on board with it, or kind of what kind of support you have for that?
Most of these bills are pretty close. Mine seems to be, of course, it's the one I like the best, and mine would allow some of these other bills. They could accomplish what they're trying to accomplish, but some of these bills don't require security in all the schools. Mine does. That's the thing. It requires security in all the schools, and it gives the locals flexibility in hiring their officer. It could be a staff member or someone they contracted with, or it could be a regular sheriff's deputy that they share. Like most SRO officers work with the sheriff's department, and when they're not at the school in the summertime, they work for the sheriff, and the sheriff pay part of the salary, and the school pay part of the salary. But this gives some options. I'm very sensitive on local control, and my bill, even though it does require to go ahead and put security in all the schools, it gives the locals some control over how they do it. And I know money's tight, And I know that there may be a better way than hiring a resource officer. For instance, a retired highway patrolman can work 900 hours and without interfering with his retirement. Well, 180 days and 900 hours, that might work out. Hire two of them.
And more Newsleader on 6 is coming up right after this.
The highest standard of excellence requires dedication and commitment. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of excellence in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's going to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor, too, when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has offices in Tullahoma. And for your banking convenience, offices all across this region. At Citizens Tri-County Bank, we listen when you tell us what you want in banking. So at our beautiful new Tullahoma downtown office at 201 North Jackson Street, enjoy the kids' playroom, home-like fireplace sitting area, drive-up 24/7 ATM, ample parking, and lighted and camera-monitored drive-thrus. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
Welcome to the Rose Bowl. The team's taking the field. Not many people. Oh, my. He missed. Off to a rough start here. Somebody wants to go home. What's he doing?
If you're not watching college football in HD, you're watching Pee Wee TV. Graduate to Charter TV in HD and let it all in.
Welcome back. The Coffee County Humane Society's featured pet of the week this week is Meg. Meg is a black and white purebred border collie needing a home with space to run. The shelter also has many other dogs available for adoption at 1210 Oakdale Street in Manchester. Hours of operation at the shelter are 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The shelter's phone number is 723-2711 or 723-2730. Donations for animal care can be made to the Coffee County Humane Society at P.O. Box 252, Manchester, Tennessee 37349, and their website is www.coffeehumane.org.
The pet of the week this week at the Tullahoma Animal Shelter is Buck. Buck is a hound lab mix and is approximately 7 months old and housebroken. He gets along well with other dogs and children. Buck has had some vaccinations and will receive a free neuter provided by the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tullahoma. Microchip identification is available to all dogs adopted for a $10 or greater donation to the shelter. For more details, contact Teresa at 454-9580. State law also requires a $35 deposit refundable upon proof that the adopted pet has been neutered or spayed. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter is located at 942 Maplewood Avenue.
The Tullahoma Lady Wildcats broke a 4-game losing streak, including a non-district loss at Coffee County Saturday, and in the process won their first ever game over Lawrence County in many a year Tuesday night with a 59-53 home victory. Balanced scoring overall and scoring in spurts was the key for Coach Dale Alsop's young Lady Cats, who chalked up their 10th victory of the season. After Lawrence County led 2-0, Tullahoma scored 8 straight late in the first quarter to take the lead that would last until midway through the third period. After falling behind by 6 in the third, the Lady Cats ripped off 13 straight to take a 7-point lead early into the fourth quarter, a lead they would nurse until the end. Sophomore Kentoria Alexander led the scoring with 20 points. Katie Lett had 13. Freshman Anastasia Wellington added 12 points. Erin Lane had 8. Kayla Bland had 4. Deja Morris put up 2 to go along with her usual strong defensive effort. The Lady Cats traveled to Franklin County on Friday.
It was an amazing performance for the Tullahoma Wildcats Tuesday night in the 73-50 win over Lawrence County that was truthfully not nearly as close as the score would indicate. The Cats, coming off a non-district loss at Coffee County on Saturday night that broke a 9-game winning streak, built a 67-29 lead after 3 quarters. Coach Tim Barendorf went deep into his bench for all of the fourth quarter, as did Lawrence County. Unofficially, the Wildcats, who are 11-8 on the year overall and 6-0 in district play, were 11 of 12 from beyond the three-point line, including a 5-for-5 performance by Justin Hill. Tullahoma's lead was 19-17 after 1 quarter, and what followed was 2 of the best quarters ever for Tullahoma fans. It started with a 23-2 advantage in the second quarter, including 15 points from senior guard Markeel Hickerson with a 42-19 lead starting the second half. The Cats didn't let up, opening the third quarter with a 17-4 run that put the game well out of reach. Hickerson wowed the crowd with a 29-point performance that included 13 straight midway through the second quarter. Hill had 17, Van Williams scored 9, Tyler Fishback added 8, Jonathan Stovall had 3, Joseph London and Dalton Cox had 2 apiece. We'll be right back in a moment with your weather forecast.
Are you looking for a new car dealer that offers no games, no gimmicks, no hassles? Then look no further than Russell Barnett Kia. Keith Barnett here today with my nephew Clay to tell you about the all-new 2012 Kia Optima. Yours today for $21,995 after rebates and incentives. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. No games, no gimmicks, no hassles. My question is, tell them, Clay.
What about anywhere else?
Welcome to Camino Real, home of the area's most authentic Mexican food. Expect quality service in a friendly environment that features the only truly authentic Mexican food in the area, with favorites like tacos, fajitas, enchiladas, burritos, tostadas, freshly made guacamole, and Mexican rice, all made from scratch using homemade Mexican recipes and only the freshest ingredients. Come and enjoy a meal at Camino Real with the great food, friendly service, and warm atmosphere of Old Mexico.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1943 at 78 degrees. The record low was in 1963 at -10. The average high on this day is 48, and the average low is 28. For tonight, look for partly cloudy weather with a low of around 29. Some rain expected in the morning on Friday with a high of 44 and a low of 28, and partly cloudy weather in the forecast for Saturday with a Saturday with a high of 45 and a low of 29.
And Jim just got a tweet from Coffee County's EMA Director Alan Lindley warning everybody about imminent cold front approaching the area tonight with moisture increasing ahead of it. Looking for some possible mix of sleet, maybe some freezing rain tonight. So,
all right. So that wasn't in our official forecast, but I noticed on the radar today that we're right on the edge of that. So that could go either way.
It could go either way. So I know we'll be getting some Facebook requests. Are schools closed? We don't know, and we probably won't know until tomorrow morning. So.
Right. All right. So be on the lookout when you get up to go to work in the morning, because there might be some ice out there possibly. That is our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
Have a great night.